Well, hello, boys and girls. How are you? This is Mr. Ruston again, right? And we will be doing math? Probably not. Not with me, right? We're going to be doing social studies. No, not with me. We're going to be doing what? Science. That's right. We're going to be doing some science today. And as I told you, last lesson is going to be a review. So today we're going to be reviewing food chains and food webs. We know a lot about those already, but we want to make sure that we are 100% knowledgeable about food webs and food chains. If anybody asks, little brother, little sister, big sister, we will be able to explain it very, very effectively. So we are going to be for sure understanding what a food chain is, what a food web is, how are they alike, how are they different, and why do we use them. So are you ready? Let's do it. So today's learning target is I can explore how different organisms get energy to create a model of a food web and a food chain. So we're going to create a model of a food web and a food chain, and we will be doing that by exploring how different organisms get energy, the energy that they need to live. And we've already discussed in the past that the one thing that all organisms want is to survive, to live, to make it, right? So the one way that they definitely, survive is by getting food. And that's exactly what we're going to be exploring today. I want you to open a document that is called Source of Energy. Source of Energy. So open that document. It looks like this. You see, it has 4 columns. So over here in the first one, it says organism. And then you have a bunch of organisms there. And you know that organisms are plants and animals. I want you to make sure that you know that you remember that. Don't just think that they're just animals, okay? And animals include humans. And then there is one column that says source of energy 1, source of energy 2, source of energy 3, okay? And that's for all of them. So if you have that open, I want you to only concentrate on the column that says source of energy 1. So source of energy 1. So we know that on our planet, all energy comes from the sun, right? All energy comes from the sun, but different organisms get it differently, okay? So when I say source of energy, I'm asking about what do those organisms eat, right? How do they get their food? So go one by one. First, how do grasses get their energy? And you should remember that from that lesson that we did last time. How do trees do that? How do zebras get their energy? How do lions get their energy? How do gazelles, it's like a deer, get their energy? How do snakes get their energy? How do hares, or like a rabbit, get their energy? So do that, and this should be kind of fun for you to do. So complete that first column, only one. Don't go to source 2 or source 3, okay? Pause the video and fill it up. So how did you do? Where do grasses get their energy from? Well, they get it straight from the sun, right? I hope that you have sun there. So if you don't have it, go ahead and write it there. They get it straight from the sun because they are producers. They produce their own food through the process of photosynthesis, remember? And they get the energy from sunlight, and then they use other ingredients there to make their own food, to make the glucose or sugars that they need. For trees, it would be exactly the same as grasses, right? The same process. And what do you put for zebra? What do you have for zebra? Where do they get their energy? Do you have grass? Okay, how about lions? Do you have one thing there? One thing, I only want one thing. Maybe from the zebra? Or do you have gazelle? I don't know. How about the gazelles? Where do they get the energy from? Just like the zebra, they get it from the grass. Or I don't know if you have something else there. You might have another plant there that is not a grass. Snakes, where do they get it from? I don't know exactly what you have, but you could possibly have from field mice, from maybe from rabbits or hares. I don't know exactly what you have there. And where do hares get their energy from? That's right. You might have grass or some sort of plant. So now we're ready to move on? Absolutely. Now I want you to open a document that is titled Savanna Grasslands. That is an article that we are going to read. We are going to read it together, okay? Savanna Grasslands. And it looks like this, okay? Savanna Grasslands. So we're going to read that together, or at least part of it together, and then you're going to do some of it by yourselves, okay? I would like you to go to the section that says, right after the map, that says animals in the savannah. That's the part that I'm most interested in. That's the one that I like to read together, okay? So animals in the savannah. You can go back later and read the other part, the other sections. But right now, animals in the savannah. And let's read. One of the more spectacular sights in nature is the animals of the African savanna. Because the savanna is so rich in grasses and tree life, many large herbivores, plant eaters, remember, live here and congregate in large herds. This includes zebras, wildebeests, elephants, giraffes, ostriches, gazelles, and buffalo. Of course, where you have lots of herbivores, there must be predators. There are many powerful predators roaming the savanna, including lions, hyenas, cheetahs, leopards, black mambas, and wild dogs. The plant-eating animals have developed ways of avoiding predators. Some animals, like the gazelle and ostrich, use speed to try and outrun predators. The giraffe uses its height to spot predators from far off, and the elephant uses its sheer size and strength to keep predators away. At the same time, predators of the savanna have adapted their own special skills. The cheetah is the fastest land animal and can run in bursts of 70 miles per hour to catch its prey. Other animals like lions and hyenas hunt in groups and trap the weaker animals away from the protection of the herd. One reason that so many different kinds of plant-eating animals can live in the savanna is that different species have adapted to eat different plants. This may be a different type of plant or even plants at different heights. Some animals are built to eat low grass, while others, like giraffes, are designed to eat leaves high up in the trees. So we know that these are animals, and they're all trying to survive, right? Trying to get energy, and we have different sources of energy. We also have plants in the savanna. The majority of the savanna is covered in different types of grasses, including lemongrass, Rhodes grass, star grass, and Bermuda grass. There are also lots of trees scattered about the savanna. Some of these trees include the acacia tree, the baobab tree, and the jackalberry tree. The plants need to be able to survive the dry season and drought in the savanna. Some store water and energy in their roots, bulbs, and trunks. Others have roots that go deep into the ground to reach the low water table. So we know that they're all trying to make it, right? Trying to survive and getting their food from wherever they can. If they're herbivores, from plants. If they're carnivores, from other animals. If they're omnivores, from both plants and animals. Now, I want you to go back to this document, the one that you already did one column, and I want you to try to fill out the other two columns. So try to see, well, for the grass and for the trees, you cannot do anything there, right? They get their energy from the sun. Through photosynthesis, they make their own food. So you have to leave that one alone. But for zebras, if you put grass, what else could zebras eat? So for source of energy 2 and source of energy 3, see what else you can put there. For lions, they got plenty of sources. So what can you put for source 1, for source 2 and for source 3? For gazelles, source 2 and source 3. So just try to add more foods there. One food per column. So you already had one, now add the other ones. Now for grass and trees, just leave them like that because you already had the sun. So that's it. So now fill out source of energy 2. So it's another food. And source of energy 3, even another food. Okay? So fill those out. Now I want you to open a document that is called Savannah Food Chain and Food Web. Savannah Food Chain and Food Web. It looks like this. It's a Savannah Food Chain and Food Web. You see it? Do you see it? All right. So for the first part, just fill in those rectangles, those boxes, fill them in the order that they go. So the sun is going to go first, okay? You know that, so that's why I told you. And then after that, who gets the energy from the sun? Who gets the energy then from the next one? Who gets the energy from the next one? So fill in there, fill in all the boxes, okay? And then you're going to go to the food web, and this one is just a little bit different because it's not just one thing. So you're going to draw arrows. You're going to draw arrows. For example, the lion will eat the zebra, but also the lion will eat the antelope, okay? So draw arrows, and remember that the arrows goes from the organism that is giving the energy to the other one. So you don't draw the arrow from the lion to the zebra, you draw the arrow from the zebra to the lion. And then from the zebra to the cheetah, okay? Because the zebra is giving energy to both the lion and the cheetah. All right? So draw all of those arrows there. So you pause the video, first do the food chain, which is very straight and very easy, and then the food web that is going to require more than one arrow from organism to organism, okay? Pause and work. How do you do with those? I'm sure you did great. This is a review, so I'm sure you already knew that. We just want to make sure that we really, really know it, right? So you completed your food chain, which is exactly as it says, a chain. One link to another to another. And the food web, which is a little bit more complicated. There are more sources going to different places, right? So what I want you to remember very, 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 very clearly in your heads is that these food webs and these food chains, you don't see them over there. These are models. These are models that we do to help us understand how energy flows in the ecosystem. They're not really the way that it looks. If you go in the savannah, you're not going to see a chain. You're not going to see a chain. You're not going to see a food web. But you will see energy flowing, right? You will see organisms eating other organisms to survive. So remember, these are not the actual thing that happens out there. These are models that we make to help us understand the flow of energy. And now it is your time to prove for sure that you learned the learning target, right? So I would like you to, in your notebooks or in your Google Docs, wherever it is that your teachers are asking you to do your work, write a paragraph explaining what a food chain is and what a food web is, and also explain how they are alike and how they are different. So after doing all this work, now write a paragraph explaining what a food chain is, what a food web is, and how they are alike and how they are different. So pause it and write. So how was that? Easy or hard? I hope it was easy after all the work that we've done about food chains and food webs. And let's review the learning target. Make sure that we have it perfectly right here in our noodle. I can explore how different organisms get energy to create a model of a food web and a food chain. And that's exactly what we did. We created a model of a food web and a food chain. We explain what they are, and we explain how they are alike and different. So we have reached it. We have reached the target. I will see you next time. And remember that science is everywhere. Bye-bye.